If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have Mario Bautista back on the show. He is back in action February 8th, UFC 247 in Houston, taking on Miles Johns. This is a great fight at 135 pounds. Mario, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, Mike. Just feeling good, feeling ready to go.
And it's great to have you here. How are the holidays and the rest of 2019 as we embark on this new year and the first fight of 2020 for you?
The holidays were good. I was able to enjoy Thanksgiving, and then I think about a week later, I was notified that I had that fight. So I had a good Thanksgiving, a good Christmas. Didn't go too crazy, but I'll save my celebration for after February 8th.
Thanksgiving, you probably ate a little bit more than Christmas. Is that accurate?
Oh, definitely. I knew it. I had to do it right there and then because I knew a fight would be coming up soon and I wouldn't have another chance.
How has everything been going in preparation for this fight with Miles Johns?
Everything's been going good. I mean, I feel good. I feel we've had a good game plan. I feel it's very similar to my last fight. So we're kind of riding on from that last camp, just flowing right through into this next one.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Miles asked for this fight, like not in a disrespectful way, but after he won on the Contender Series, I remember interviewing him like 3 or 4 days later, and you were the first name Cole Smith was the first name that came out of his mouth. Yours was the second, and then he's been basically saying he's wanted to fight you. He thinks it'll be a really exciting fight. He was very impressed with your last performance. Is Miles a guy that you've been paying attention to as well? Is he someone that's been on your radar?
Yeah, that's kind of funny because when he won the Contender Series, I just had a feeling like that's who I'm going to be fighting. Like for sure, that's one of the guys I'm going to be fighting. So when we got that fight, I mean, I definitely. It's just weird how that all happened. So yeah, I was ready for him, and I was definitely watching him in his last couple fights.
So you felt this was coming. Have you felt that way before? Like you felt a fight was going to be lined up outside of maybe like a title fight or something like that? Have you had that inkling before and then have it play out the way that you thought it would?
I haven't. This is the first time that's happened. So it's pretty weird how you just manifest things into reality, I guess.
You like this matchup from a stylistic perspective and from an entertainment perspective as well?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, he always brings it. He's tough, strong, undefeated. I believe a former LFA champion. So, yeah, I'm excited for this fight.
By the time this fight goes down in Houston, it's going to be around 7 or so months since you last competed. That fight of the night performance we talked about back in July. Is the timing good here for you, or were you hoping to get back in there a little bit sooner?
A little bit sooner, but I mean, I understand the business side of the UFC, and they were, going through some things, and as far as like, cutting people and signing people. So, and there's that 35 division is pretty stacked, so everyone's just, waiting to get matched up. So I understand, but it was perfect time for me. I was just getting better in the meantime. So,
did you watch his fight with Cole Smith?
Yeah, I did watch that fight. Watched it. It was, tough, grindy fight. Honestly, I thought Cole won, in my opinion, but it could have went either way, I guess. But it was a pretty good fight for both of them.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think a lot of people had scored it for Cole as well, but that third round was just crazy. Could have been a draw. I thought that's what direction they may have gone because I thought Miles maybe have 10-8'd him in that last round, so it could have been a draw. Yeah. But it was a good fight. I know you don't want to give away too much here, but what sorts of advantages do you see yourself having in this fight on February 8th?
Well, I said I could say some things, keep my distance, stay on the outside, and I said that for my last fight, but it didn't exactly go that way. So I'm just gonna just do my thing in there. Just I think my cardio is going to be there at the end, and I think he's going to fade towards the end. So, however it goes, if we're in a grindy fight, or if I'm picking him apart, I just feel towards the end there, it's going to be going my way.
First pay-per-view numbered event for you in your UFC career. You get to share the card with 2 title fights. You get John Jones at the top. You get Valentina Shevchenko defending her title as well. You get to share the card with 2 of the very best fighters in the world. This is a great card to be on. Does that get you excited knowing that you're on a big card like this, a pay-per-view card for the first time in your UFC tenure?
Oh yeah, it feels, pretty good that, UFC is willing to put me on the card. They're, I'm an exciting fighter, so hopefully me and Miles will be a good appetizer to the end of the card there. So I'm excited for it.
Specifically, how do you plan on setting the table for those 2 title fights? Like, how do you top the fight of the night performance and steal the show once again against Miles Johns? How do you see this all playing out?
It's going to be pretty tough, there's some good fighters on that card, and there's some great fights. So it might be hard to get another bonus, but but I think me and Miles, we do have a chance at being right there. Maybe fight of the night, hopefully performance of the night. Hopefully we don't have to go 3 rounds again.
With a win over Miles, that's 2 straight wins in the octagon. 135, like you said, very interesting, very deep right now. In my opinion, it's the deepest division in the UFC. We're not looking past February 8th. We're not looking past Miles Johns, of course, but where do you hope to see yourself at the end of 2020 in this division?
At the end of 2020, I mean, at the very least, maybe just break in the top 15. I'm still pretty young in the sport, so I'm not trying to rush anything. I still want to fight, the best people, obviously. I mean, in the UFC, you're going to get that. But towards the end of 2020, that's what I'm looking forward to, is getting into that top 15.
What's the vibe these days over at the MMA Lab? I know 2019 was a very interesting year for the gym. There was a lot of transition, a lot of moving parts, but we had talked about it and things were starting to turn around. Things were getting better. Same kind of core people were in positions as they were before. How is the vibe over there now at the start of 2020?
It's been really good. We had, the rough times right there, but honestly, I think it's just been a lot better. It's just been a lot more, pure in the room, a lot more clear. Everyone's on the same page in the room. Everyone that stayed, we're all on the same page. So, the vibe is good. We've been doing good. Team's been doing better practices, and the vibe's been pretty good here.
Obviously, that wasn't an ideal situation for the gym, but almost in a way, it was kind of something that, would you agree that it was something that maybe the gym needed in a way, just to sort of, I'm not going to say weed out people, but at least the people that want to be there are there now. You know what I mean? Do you feel like this was something that had to happen to set you guys up for the future?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, out of the bat, you definitely don't want to go through those things, but if you just hold on and, you kind of wait it out, there's, it's just, things always clear up, and, it's for the better.
I have to ask, the 2020 calendar year is kicking off for the UFC on Saturday night in Las Vegas. You got Conor McGregor coming back. It's always a nice little boost when Conor comes back, taking on Donald Cerrone. What do you think of that fight? Who do you like on Saturday?
Ooh, that one's going to be a good one. I don't know. I have Conor in that fight. I think Conor's just too crisp. His timing's too good. And, but I hope it goes 5 rounds. I just want to see a good fight, but I do have Conor in that fight.
From fighters that I've talked to, they've all pretty much said the same thing. Like, if Conor can take him out in the first 2 rounds, that's his path to victory. But if it goes beyond that, Cerrone's going to win. Do you agree with that sentiment, or do you think Conor's got the gas tank to keep going? He's been out for a little while, so no one really knows.
Yeah, I think if it does go 5 rounds, I think Conor still does win, because I don't think Cerrone's that type of grindy fighter. He's not going to keep on putting the pressure on you. He's more of he looks for his shots. So I think Conor's going to be his cardio is going to be fine through the whole fight, I believe.
So you'll be watching. On Saturday.
Definitely, I'll be watching. I'm looking forward to that one, and then obviously on my card, the Jones and Reyes fight. I'm looking forward to that one, but definitely been focusing on my fight just a little bit more.
Is it nice to sort of take a break and mentally from the fight and sit back and watch these other fights and sort of get pumped up in that way as well?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Just to gather around with friends, watch fights. Definitely watch fights with friends that, that train. We could study these fights. Everyone's kind of quiet, not yelling and everything. So yeah, it's a nice little break from training and everything.
When the fight card ends, especially, let's just say Conor goes out and knocks Cerrone out in the first round, and it leaves this great moment. It gets us all fired up. I know with me, like, I can't go to sleep. I'm watching the press conferences. Like, I just want to keep on going with everything that happened. Especially when you have a fight coming up. What is it like for you when these fight cards end? Do you just get jacked up? Like, oh man, I can't wait for it to be my turn. Like, what is it like for you after these fight cards end?
You definitely remember, like, oh man, like, this is what I do. I fight in that same cage. And yeah, it does get me pumped up, and it gets me ready for for my fight. So yeah, it's pretty cool to watch those.
And your fight coming up February 8th, Mario Bautista taking on Miles Johns, UFC 247, Houston, Texas. Another great fight in a loaded 135-pound division. Great catching up with you, Mario. Before we let you go, let the folks know where they can find and follow you on the web, social media, any shout-outs, anything else you want to get off your chest. The floor is yours.
Yeah, you can just follow me on Instagram, Mario_Bautista 135. And I believe it's the same thing on Twitter, so you can follow me on those accounts.
Awesome, man. Thank you again. Looking forward to this fight, man. All the best to you on February 8th.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.